British humour is defined by a combination of self-awareness, dry and dark humour. Whether through the delivery or actions of the characters, there is something quintessential about Brits examining their own shite through the lens of laughter. While most foreigners will think of major modern cities like London, Newcastle or Manchester when talking about the UK, the working class tends to be the vast majority of the country, but often overlooked. It makes the punchlines in "Thank goodness you're here" hit all the harder, because it captures this side of the UK so incredibly well. The latest comedic game from Coal Supper at times feels like a long-lost animated series that may have only had 3 episodes, but a cult following will always remember it fondly. Consider me to be part of its fanbase, because from the absurdity to the performances and its visual design, "Thank goodness you're here" had me smiling from ear to ear from beginning till end. As an unnamed, small reporter, you're sent off to the town of Barnsworth to interview the mayor. Unfortunately, he's not in the office right now, so you're free to explore Barnsworth and its eclectic citizens at your own pace. The game is a rare outlier as it can only really be described as a comedy game. The main methods of interactivity are only jumping and slapping, which boils down to you slapping your way across town to interact with the townsfolk. Each citizen in Barnsworth has his or her own problems and is all the happier to see you come in and solve their predicament. From a boy who needs lubricant to get his hand out of a vent to the local farmer growing his biggest tomato yet. As you're sent across town, you'll interact with nearly everyone you meet and are guaranteed to either be shaking with laughter or shocked in amazement at the unfolding situation. Without a doubt, the gorgeous visual style is the first thing you'll notice. Clean, thick, hard outlines make "Thank goodness you're here" look like an interactive cartoon. From the ways the characters move around to the wobbly interiors and spaces you'll come across. At every moment, the style complements the abundance of absurdity. Jumping out windows simply makes you bounce back into a drain pipe, and going down the well drops you into a tunnel that leads you back into a shed. The game seizes every moment to play with your expectations, and much like an episode of Ren and Stimpy or even Gravity Falls, the randomness provides much of the conclusion to many jokes.
Hello there. I've got a sausage here. Would you like it? Here you go. Ah! I've dropped it. That's okay. I've got another. Ah! I've dropped it again. It's alright. I've got some more inside. Back in a mo.
Whether it is guiding the arm and hand of a bedridden fellow from one end of town to the shop so he can pick up his groceries, or jumping in a deep fryer after helping out cutting the chips, all accompanied by some great and varied British voice work. Sure, Matt Berry headlines the cast and steals the show whenever he's on screen, but every character feels completely distinct with the energy the voice actors bring to it. I think the biggest fault can be the gameplay and the backtracking. As you wander about the town, you'll often need to use particular roads and connections to reach whatever it is that someone asks of you. At certain times you're tackling multiple tasks at once, but there isn't really a map or a checklist of your progress. I'm fairly certain that few will really struggle with where to go next. Honestly, it is very impressive how the designers have made navigating the town feel almost like second nature. But on my 3rd time going through the well to reach the other side of a wall of garbage, there did sink in a bit of a feeling of repetition. The jokes keep on coming, but in the short time you're spending with the game, you will be walking, jumping and slapping back and forth across the same backgrounds quite a bit. And really, when my biggest gripe is that the game is too short and there's much more I wanted out of this town and the game, it just goes to show how expertly crafted the pacing is most of the time. But what I especially like about "Thank goodness you're here" is its world and town. Barnsworth isn't presented like a clean village of the year type place. We're so used to places in games looking either like a gorgeous sprawling metropolis or an abandoned crumbling city. This game really feels like the grimy, labor-intensive town that had its heyday about 40 years ago. That place where you might have grown up and where it was either finding your way out by going to uni or following your parents' trade and probably end up working in the coal mine. Trash is strewn everywhere, government workers are absent or barely interested in performing their jobs, and the bustling center of town is the fish and chip shop. You would not want to live or be stuck in a town like this, and yet people make a living here. Everyone knows everyone, and sure, the locksmith may be a flat-out drunk, but at the end of the day he and the lads meet all back up at the pub for a pint. It's a characterization that balances its fantastic comedic writing with the setting, to make a very clear point about these communities and your role in them. The final set piece and punchline is definitely something I'll be thinking about for a long while after. Overall, "Thank goodness you're here" is short, sweet, but above all, deeply funny. The vibe of being an interactive British cartoon works incredibly well in making you understand and want to explore Barnsworth. From its innuendos when milking cows, to the way citizens interact with one another, it makes a truly enjoyable and memorable experience. While at times the repetition of walking back and forth can set in, the game rarely drops the ball of making a joke. Give this game to your dad, neighbor, or friend and watch them carefully explore what the town has to offer. I can guarantee their puzzlement will surely turn to laughter before they exclaim, "Thank goodness for this game."